Welcome into All Things. We are the Sheltons, and today we are excited about all things summer. It is officially summer starting tomorrow in the Shelton house.
School is finished as of today.
As of today.
3 awards ceremonies, 2 of them graduations in the pouring down rain.
In the pouring down rain.
Wonderful end to the school year.
It was.
We will enjoy tomorrow and the next several weeks. So we are excited, all things summer, to talk about today. And before we begin, Keisha, do you have a one thing?
I do. It's a summary one thing, too. For the Dr. Pepper fans out there, I really enjoy the Dr. Pepper Zeros. I feel like they're better than the Diet Dr. Peppers, but they have a new flavor. It's probably limited edition, but it's Dr. Pepper Zero Creamy Coconut, and it tastes like vacation in a bottle. It is so good. So if you haven't tried it, try it. It's your summer version of Dr. Pepper. They have a regular one also that Emma says is very good.
I've already spent a full, probably, paycheck on these Dr. Peppers.
Probably.
Yeah.
And that's my one vice for everybody. I do have... That is a weakness of mine.
It's a weakness. I know
Diet
if
drinks.
It's been a bad day to show up with a Diet Coke, Diet Dr. Pepper, Dr. Pepper Zero. It makes all things better.
It usually does. But other than that, I'm a really good person. But that is something I'm not very good at.
All things better?
I loved
Is that
it.
good?
I loved it.
Thanks. Came up with that one myself.
What's your one thing?
My one thing, and I actually mentioned this at church last night, you were working on song sets for the next several weeks, and you mentioned to me that you were kind of struggling, like I can't. A lot of times you're in the groove, and a lot of times hey, here's these 2 songs or 3 or whatever we're doing for that weekend, and you usually schedule several weeks out, and I'm sure you were looking at summer and probably end of school year, had a lot going, and you said, I'm just struggling, narrowing down what songs to do. And I, in jest, just being funny, said, have you prayed about it? Have you been praying? Like, and
the audacity.
I think it kind of offended you that I was just like, hey, have you been praying, consistently? Are we praying? And then, I don't know, we made amends there. And then the next day or 2, you were asking me about what I was going to preach or teach at church, and I said, I've got something, but I'm kind of struggling, kind of wrestling, not real sure yet. And you looked back at me.
It was so
said,
easy.
Have you been praying? Have you been praying about it? It's like, okay, I got you. So that's my one thing to all of the listeners out there. Have you been praying?
Yeah.
And I want to challenge you. Have you been praying about your summer? Have you been praying about your family?
Yeah.
About your job, finances, all of these things?
You need somebody in your life that can ask you that question.
Hold you accountable.
Yeah.
Just look at you and say, have you been praying?
And luckily, we both have been praying.
We have been.
And that's...
Never enough.
I'm going to go ahead and tell you that's our next All Things episode. We usually spill that at the end, but I want to go ahead and say that here in this moment is our next episode is All Things Prayer.
All things prayer. It's one of my favorite subjects to
we're passionate
teach on
about
or
it.
Be taught on.
Yes.
To listen. It's
Could
always
probably do
challenging.
several
prayer
episodes, but
I always want to work at being a better prayer, praying for people, praying.
And as a teacher, I feel
issues.
like I always really get to capitalize on my prayer life in the summertime because
Certainly.
I'm not teaching in the summer, so I find a lot of really sweet just in uninterrupted prayer time in the summertime, and I'm thankful that I get to have that time. So it's summer now. Here's your would you rather question. It's going to be a vacation question. We're kind of relating to summer today. Would you rather vacation in a big city with lots of conveniences and amenities, restaurants, etc., or would you rather vacation in a remote place like a cabin in the woods or on the lake? Not a lot of civilization.
Yeah. I don't enjoy the traffic of the big cities, but I enjoy the big
stuff.
city. I enjoy the skyscrapers, just the vibe of it. And I know that's something I've passed along to Emma, that you kind of are like, oh, you're going to push her to the big city when she gets older. But I would pick the big city. I love Cabin in the Woods, but if I had to choose, I would go with the big city.
Yeah. Cabin in the Woods sounds like it could be work. It depends on the day for me, probably. If I'm not feeling real social, I'll probably say, yeah, let's get away and go away, like away. But yeah, big cities also to me are highly stressful environments. So I'm gonna pick the remote place. Hopefully, there's a nice view of a lake or something.
I guess we're both going to vacation
We'll
alone
go
then.
vacation different places.
I'll take Emma and you take the boys.
Okay, here's another summer question for you. This is a this or that question. You can only pick one to have for the rest of ever. Snow cones or ice cream?
I love both, but you know I'm a loyalist by nature, and I am ice cream all the way. I grew up an ice cream kid, dad working for Yarnell's Ice Cream, the greatest ice cream on the planet. I don't care what anybody says, does, or tries to convince me otherwise. Go Yarnell's all day, every day.
Yes, I am going to pick,
I was gonna say,
I'll
how
pick
about
ice
you?
cream too, but I'm being mad because, man, in the really heat and dog days of summer,
Those
sometimes
church camp snow cones
the
are pretty
only
good.
thing that sounds good is a snow cone, really. So I'll be sad, but yeah, I like ice cream even
If
in
I
the
had
winter.
to choose, yeah.
So American middle class is a lot of ways situated around a summer mindset. The way public schools operate really affects how the rest of the business world operates. There's a lot of summer changes, summer policies, summer hours in businesses, and revenue is up, clientele is up significantly for many industries in the summer due to students being out of school. Families are taking vacation.
I don't assume we're going to make this episode about the potential new school year formats
No,
that school
that's,
districts may be looking at.
That's all things education. That's a
That
later
may be
episode.
its own episode. But you're certainly right. Even in my professional world at the bank, it's we have to get extra employees. We may hire summer help
Right.
because that's when we all schedule vacations.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to go while their kids are out of school and go on a vacation. We were just, you and I took a small trip, and they weren't busy yet. That was coming. They told us Memorial Day through Labor Day they were going to be swamped, but they weren't yet. And that's just because when schools are out
Yeah, it is almost
and
Memorial
families
Day,
travel.
Yeah. I feel so blessed that we were able to take that pre-summer trip so we can enter the summer season refreshed, ready to go, ready to be good parents, pastors, and professionals. And it was a trip without the kids.
Yeah, we're certainly in kid season, and there's a good chance the listeners have planned or are planning a trip. And I'll tell you, it's important to rest. It's important to relax.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be elaborate. It doesn't have to be expensive. There's a meme floating around Facebook. I've seen shirts that say Daniel slept in a lion's den, Peter slept in a prison, Jesus slept in a storm. No matter what your circumstance,
Take a nap.
you can take a nap.
That's awesome. I haven't seen that.
You need to relax. We all, we love a Sunday nap, and don't fall into the trap that your vacation or your time away has to be elaborate,
Extravagant.
has to be extravagant, expensive. The most important thing is make memories. You can do that fishing in a pond in a neighborhood somewhere. The best money you'll spend isn't on stuff. It's on making memories. And as you were mentioning a second ago, we were blessed, you and I,
Yes.
to take a pre-summer trip as we enter into the
Yes.
summer season, and it refreshed us. It'll help us be ready to be better parents, better pastors,
so
better
sometimes
professionals.
When you're parents, it's hard to get away from your kid. You might feel some of that guilt for getting away, and even for my teenagers, we don't have real small children anymore, but I feel a little guilty being away from them, but I've learned to tell myself, I'm going to be a better mom when I return from this time period away. This is what being a good mom looks like right now. Right now, I'm relaxing with a book and a cup of coffee and my feet up, and I'm looking at the waves or whatever, wherever I'm at. Right now, I am being a good mom because it's helping me to refresh and relax. And God designed us to need rest. God created us that way. And if we neglect that, we're neglecting a part of us that He created. So it's good to take trips with our kids, but it's also good to, have time that you have away from them too and relax. Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
The Bible emphasizes the importance of rest, physical, emotional, spiritual well-being. And
Exactly.
some absence is also healthy from even your place of employment. We're thankful for that PTO that we all have every year, and helps you be a better employee when you return.
Right.
A break is in order from time to time, and I'm sure all of the teachers out there can say amen. And we're glad for all the teachers that are getting to have their summer. We were just at awards and graduations today, and we know and recognize that they work hard for our students.
And we appreciate that.
We
yes.
do. We want our students to work hard, but we also realize how important and valuable those educators and teachers are, and we're thankful for each of them.
Absolutely.
Through COVID, many parents realized they don't want to be teaching their own children in homeschool. It was very difficult for some of us. But
Very eye-opening.
yeah.
So there's something about rest and being away that can rejuvenate you, motivate you, re-energize you again, and be intentional about getting that time, both with family, and then maybe if you're in a season like us, we recognize it's important to do it also just the two of us for our marriage. And so going on to something different, two things we are passionate about in the summer, and they both start with the C: camps and Cornerstone.
We love both.
We love both.
And usually at Cornerstone, we have a vacation Bible school every year. We're going to do something a little different just for this year. We're looking at a full just kids weekend as kind of a replacement.
Like a kids revival.
Kids revival, yeah. Bring somebody in, just have a huge weekend with them instead of just a full week. So
and
something
I want to say this
little different
on that, because I know a lot of people are going to be disappointed because we put on a great VBS. We really do. But this kind of goes in with what we were just talking about. It's important to rest sometimes. And we are giving our volunteers a break this summer, a needed break. We see this is an exhausting week every year. So we're going to say, hey, let's take a year off and come back and be better than ever next year. So I'm sorry for those of you that are going to be like groaning, oh, no VBS, because we do it well. We do it with excellence. And so it is a huge undertaking.
Something we're not taking a break from is summer camps in
Right.
Redfield. When we think about Streets of Gold, we think about those streets in Redfield,
Dusty old
Arkansas. That's where we met, you and I, and our relationship started, and all that
dear
has
old
transpired
Camp
since then.
Redfield. Yes, so when I was young, when it was 1995, and we took a family vacation to San Antonio. We took a whole week, my mom, dad, us girls, and that was also my first year to be a camper at kids camp. And my parents, I don't remember if they were there or they sent me or something, but after that, they brought us girls into the living room and they asked us, girls, do you want to take a family vacation, or do you want to go as a family to church camp? And it was a very short conversation. We did not list out the pros and cons. We did not deliberate. We just said church camp, all in unison. And so my parents always saved their PTO, their time off, and they worked our church camps. And that, I'm not saying this to make you feel sorry for me, but I don't remember another family vacation after that other than just like weekends, like a 3-day weekend maybe at the lake or something.
But again, that speaks to the importance that a family vacation doesn't have to be elaborate. It's making memories, and look at the memories we've both made at
Right.
church camp. You know, I grew up a little league baseball player and all summer long playing baseball. But when I was exposed to camp, I was kind of done with baseball after
Yeah.
that
I'm
because
thankful you were.
church camp was where my heart was at.
And we never would have
yeah,
met.
That's right.
So I was 13 and you were 16 when we met, but when we started talking to each other, I was 16 and you were 19. And I feel the same way about Camp Redfield as I do about Cornerstone. I want to be a good member of our campground and I want to contribute. You know, I want to help make it a better place. If I just showed up every year and expected my kids to be given the same great experiences that I had as a kid, then I have to contribute, you know. I have to contribute financially. I have to put in time, talent, all of it, the 3 T's. We just talked about that. And we appreciate Camp Redfield as parents of Emma, Max, Vaughn, and Jet, but we also appreciate the camp as pastors.
Pastors, absolutely. These
Yeah.
events work for us.
They work for us.
That is absolutely right. They help us. They help push our students. They
Mm-hmm.
help put the right things into them, principles that they can live by.
Yeah. They
Things
disciple
we've
them.
said, they help to cheer it on. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and that's why I'm willing to go and support. And I don't appreciate either of these two extremes. And I'm not saying I see these all the time, but this just came to me when we were putting some of this content together. People who, you know, want this and want that, like this camp over here in this state, but they're not contributing. Or that group that wants to kind of live in yesterday and say, well, when I was a youngster, we had this, that, and the other. And I'm like, nope, it's better now.
I think we're all thankful
Yes.
we're not swatting at horseflies under the tabernacle
Absolutely,
anymore.
yes. That doesn't make it more spiritual just because it was more rustic.
Summer is here, and we can all say, thank you, Jesus, for
Jesus.
air conditioning.
Yes. But that's what we do in the kingdom. We move forward. At Cornerstone, we look for ways to get better, do better, be better. And God always blesses and with increase, and he honors that effort and that labor.
That's so good. You know, summertime from the church standpoint, and I've heard it said my whole life, there's, you know, the summer slump
Yep.
in ministry.
I don't think I really felt it as much till I was a pastor's wife.
Sure, yeah. And hear it from this pastor, and yours may say differently, but from my voice, I'm okay with you being gone a weekend.
Mm-hmm.
If you're on vacation, if you're going with your family somewhere, you're doing something, but and that happens especially a lot during the summer, and so that's kind of where that summer slump comes from. We want our families making memories, but if they're here, they're in the area, we still want to get them to church, and we want to make it enjoyable for them while they're here. So we established something a few years ago that, hey, during the month of June, there's a lot of camps going, but in July and August, when it's full-fledged summer, people are traveling, we were like, hey, let's do something fun and build excitement in the church for those that are here. So we call it our Summer Sundays, and every Sunday there's a different theme, there's something going on, and we're working now on new ideas for this summer coming up, but we've done, you know, as simple as Ice Cream Sunday to Soda Sunday,
Yes.
but we've worn jerseys. We've got some new ones this year.
We do.
We want it to be fun. We want it to be exciting. And for those that are here to still have a reason to get up Sunday mornings and say, hey, I know my friends might be out of town for
Yeah.
vacation, but
Yeah.
we still get to go to church and we get to have fun while we're there.
Yeah. Summer Sundays are a huge highlight. We love them so much. I'm going to tell a couple of our new Summer Sundays that we have coming up this year, but I'm not going to spill the whole list. That will be its own announcement in itself. But for anybody who's thinking about doing this, we get a lot of questions actually about the Summer Sundays. We just put a list together and theme every Sunday, and it's usually not extravagant. We don't have to spend a lot of money, but it just gives a little extra something to the day, and it adds to church culture, adds to the energy. And I think part of why we experience a summer slump is because we have harsh summers where we're at. You know, some climates, they have what you hear is a harsh winter. We have harsh summers, and they get to you. They can get you down. But two new Summer Sundays are I Love My Church Sunday and we're going to have, well, I can't even tell you that we got some good surprises for that one. And then we have, I'm going to say this one, Twin Day. So you're going to find somebody and you guys are going to dress alike for the day. You're going to be twins. Cornerstone is blessed. We have
Several
tons
twins.
of
This
twins.
church, yeah.
Crazy amount of twins. So during the summer, also the halfway point of the year happens. So I like to look at summer, and I know I come from an educational background and mindset on this, but I look at it as a fresh place in the year. It's a reset. It's a midway point in the year. So it's a great time to say, hey, let's plan the rest of the year. What are my goals? Where am I at this year? So it's a good point to just kind of take inventory in the year. Vacation, rest, summer, whatever you want to call it.
A break is needed. And Jesus said, "Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden,
Yes.
and I will give you rest."
Won't
a
he do it?
Sabbath, if you will, is needed. It's healthy. Now get away and reset your mind from the cares of life, but also go to church, and you're
Yes.
going to find rest.
That's right. He will
there.
give it.
You're going to find health there.
Yes. Support your church this summer.
Absolutely.
Support
Be there.
those students
Enjoy,
going to camp.
Have a great summer. Mm-hmm. But also go to church when you're
Yes.
in town and when you're around.
Yes, we are excited to be back with you next episode for all things prayer related. We are excited about that, and all good things must come to an end. You have anything else, Michael?
I do not. Enjoy your summer.
God bless you.